Welcome back to Love and Junk. I'm John.
I'm Laura.
And today we have Love and Junk's Christmas tag.
That's right.
So here we are. We're going to answer some questions about our Christmas past and present.
That's right. And at the end, we're going to tag some of our friends and hope that you participate. But anyone can participate. If you're watching this and you want to get involved, just put Love and Junk's Christmas tag in the title. And we'd love to hear how you answer all these questions.
Absolutely. And you don't have to follow our questions. You can make up questions of your own.
Or pick and choose. Do some of the questions and do some different ones. Or whatever you want to do. Just
right.
Tell us about your Christmas. That's what we want to know.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Okay.
So begin the interrogation.
All right. Question number 1. Our Christmas tree.
Yes.
Real or fake? And when do we put it up?
We have an artificial Christmas tree. We just purchased a new one this year for the new house. And
It's nice too, and we needed a new one. We moved last year,
yeah.
and our tree got to be junk in the move. Yeah.
And the old one is now on our front steps outside because we don't have any trees in our front yard.
Yeah, so it's an outdoor. We have it lit up by our front door, so you'll see that in our holiday house tour. But our new one can be multicolored or white. It can switch back and forth. It can dim.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, so we're happy about that, and we're not opposed to real trees. I like the smell and all of that of a real tree. My family, growing up, we never really did a real tree. I think a couple of years we did, but I just remember my mom not liking the mess of it.
Yeah. I don't know the reason why my parents never got a real tree. It could be the mess.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I always had an artificial tree growing up. I have had real trees like a couple of times as an adult, but I didn't really care.
Yeah. Yeah. So next is how and when do we celebrate?
Well, it changes a lot, but a lot of times, it's just us on Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Well, so we typically celebrate with different pods of the kids.
Right.
And so it depends on all of their work schedules. When you get to the phase of life, I don't know if we've mentioned this before, I think we have, or if you watch our channel regularly, we're in that sweet spot of life between kids and grandkids.
Right.
So all of the kids are out of the house now. Some of them are old enough to have children but haven't started on that yet, or some of them may never go down that road, and that's all good with us too. Whatever they choose to do makes them happy. But we're between kids and grandkids, so we just kind of get together with them whenever it works for them. We like to be the parent that, sometimes when there's divorce situations, first of all, the adult child has his and her families, and then if their parents are divorced, then it could potentially be 4 families that they have to go see, and then grandparents and all of that stuff. So we like to be the easy ones that are like
no pressure.
No pressure, whenever it works for you. A lot of times we end up celebrating after Christmas with them, which is great. Everybody can shop sales then, and it's less
we got some kids that are in factory work. We got some kids that are in the military.
Some kids that don't live right here. And it's just less pressure. I think if it's after the holiday, it's relaxed. On Christmas Eve, when I was growing up, Christmas Eve was always very relaxed, and we played games and ate pizza. And so we kind of continue that tradition. Right. We like to play board games anyway. That's how I grew up, playing lots of family board games. So we do that, and we make whatever we want if it's just us.
Right. Yeah, my brother and sister-in-law are in town, and they have their Christmas, and they kind of carry on the tradition. Like in my family growing up, we did like a Christmas brunch over at my grandparents' house. And my dad's in town, but we're not going over there this year. This is our first year in our house. Mm-hmm. And so, we just really want to enjoy spending the holidays in our house. But, we look to have our Christmases with all the different kids when we can.
Yep.
So
Yep, that's it. And then and we normally exchange with each other. I shouldn't say normally. We always, our presents between us are just between us. We don't open our gifts to each other when there's kids, parents,
Right.
anybody else around. We like that to be intimate, just the two of us with the lights on and just take our time. And generally we do that on Christmas Eve.
That's right.
So
Because we can't wait till Christmas.
and by we, I mean him. What's your favorite Christmas cookie?
Well, my favorite Christmas cookie now is the ones that we just made this year, which they were called the $1 Million Cookie or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I've made them for years, yeah.
And they're delicious. It's
are
kind of like a shortbread type, a mix between a shortbread and sugar cookie.
And the kind of sugar cookie with the loose sugar on the outside, you make the dough, roll it into balls, put the balls on the cookie sheet, and then you make the dough, roll it into balls, roll the balls into sugar.
Yeah.
Then put it on the cookie sheet, then flatten it with we use a glass.
And to make it look more festive, we use regular sugar and then red and green mixed in with it.
Mm-hmm. When it's not Christmas, you can make them for Halloween. You can make them for a Tuesday with no color. It doesn't really matter, but that's what we do when it's a holiday, is add the little colored. I have a tie for my favorite Christmas cookie, and if I could only have one, it would really, really be difficult for me to choose. So my favorite cookie that I eat is cookie cutter cookies with the icing and loaded with sprinkles and the little shapes. Although I hate making them.
They're kind of a pain.
And they take a long time. But they're my favorite to eat. So we always make them. Also, when I was little, my mom made spritz cookies, which are the cookies that you use the cookie press and press them out. And she always made little green Christmas trees at Christmas time. And they're not too sweet. And you put them on the cookie sheet, sprinkle some sprinkles on them, bake them. And they're easy to make.
Yeah, they are.
And not everybody makes those. They remind me of my mom, so we have to have them. And when I ask my kids what they want, that's what they want.
Right. And I'm sure I've had those like through the years at like different holiday parties or whatever. But we just made them a couple of years ago or whatever, started making them, for our Christmases a couple of years ago, and they're a classic now. We gotta have them.
But they're not super common. Like, if you go to 10 houses over Christmas, I would say 1 or 2 might have them.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, the cookie cutter cookies, probably all of them have that kind, you know? Or, like, where you take a Hershey's Kiss and put it in the peanut butter cookie. Like, there's some cookies that are more common than others.
See, and as a kid, I love the cookie cutter cookies. And, we always just did the sugar, sprinkles and sugar and different things like that on top of it. And
with no icing.
Right, and not icing, and just like bake that on. And I like that. But, at other people's places, I would have it with the icing. And I like those as a kid. But now, like, as an adult, it just seems too sugary for me. Like, my favorite are those $1 Million ones or the spritz. Because they're just not as sugary.
And I like them, for clarification, with icing, not frosting. So that you can stack them and they don't get all stuck together.
Well, and you can decorate them really well that way,
Right. So, tell us what your favorite Christmas cookie is. What was the best gift ever received, either as a child or in recent years?
For me, as a child, I had wanted and wished and hoped for like since summer for this Star Wars Millennium Falcon. You could put the little action figures in it and everything. Oh my gosh. And I got that on Christmas morning. I just knew I was going to get it. I love that thing. And yeah. So that was it, like, as a kid. That's like the most memorable. Yeah. I remember like wanting a guitar, and I actually like got one, and then I never had any lessons or anything. I never knew what to do with it. It was just a waste of time for me.
So for me as a kid, I remember getting my Barbie dream house. My parents were really good about either making sure they picked really cool things for me, or Santa would bring really cool things for me. And so the Barbie dream house is something that I wanted, that I asked for, and there it was in all of its glory on Christmas morning, taking up half the living room. And then my parents helped Santa. You know, Santa brought the Barbie dream house, and my parents brought me like a Jeep and a camper and like other stuff to go along with it. And that was a really good Christmas. I always had everything Barbie. The pool, all the furniture, everybody came to my house to play Barbie, so it was fun. And then also, along the lines of Star Wars, one year there was this weird shaped package. It was probably this tall by, this wide or whatever. It looked like a big tower. And it was stacks upon stacks upon stacks of Star Wars trading cards. Wow. Just a huge stack of them.
Cool.
I remember sitting and just opening and, hey, I got this, card. And then, like sorting out what the ones I had duplicates of, and eating all the gum. And
what about recently? Do you have any presents that were memorable for you?
I would say recently would be John a couple of times has got me things that were experiences. So it wasn't the best time in the world going to we went to see Price is Right live, like the traveling show, and it was really fun, don't get me wrong, but I was very like riddled with anxiety. I wasn't until we got there, and once we got there and I saw what it looked like, I was like terrified that they were gonna call us, because we were way in the back and there's 80 million people, and how do you get there? And
yeah, people were dressed up and...
It was nuts. So that was fun. And then he bought tickets to a murder mystery dinner, and it was fun because we were together. It was kind of weird. The experience was a little bit, we were out of our comfort zone a little bit, talking to strangers and whatnot and having to mill around, but it was good. I always like it when you get me something that I don't expect. I really like Runts candy, the bananas in particular. And so one year I got a big bag of those Runts bananas.
Yeah, it was like a 2-pound bag of just the Runts bananas.
Yeah. I don't know, just weird, quirky things. I'm never the one to be like, I want this expensive purse or this whatever. I'm not like that. I'd rather have like board games that we would play together or go somewhere together. I mean, there's always things that we need and things that I like. I mean, music and stuff for the house a lot of times. Like one year he got me my favorite poem in a frame. I don't know. What about you?
Well, Laura always pays attention. If I mention something, then she will make sure that it shows up for Christmas. And I remember once telling her that, like as a kid, we were just having a conversation. I was like, I always wanted that game Mousetrap. And like, I had friends that would have it, but nobody ever wanted to play it, or they lost all the pieces to it, or whatever.
And it was nowhere near Christmas when we were talking about this. It was probably like April or something.
Right. And then, Christmas comes, and I'm unwrapping my presents, and there is the Mousetrap game. And so that was very sweet. It was very nice that she thought of me. And that's most of the presents that Laura always gets for me is very thoughtful. And I just really appreciate that,
we set that game up and played it right that day or soon after.
Yeah, we did it on Christmas for sure. And then, I just really remember she had got me a calendar with like pictures of us in it and all these sweet little sayings. I'm on December right now, so might need another one. And then there was a sweet book that was like the story of us, and it had like these cute little cartoon characters in there that look like us. I love that thing. It's cute. Those are the most memorable, but you always get me very thoughtful gifts.
Yeah, and he's always cute opening them. Every year I take a picture of him with a big pile of presents, and I wrap a lot of things. So he could have one of those like, I don't know, a
Yeah,
box
for
of
example,
chocolates or
what-
like a big box of chocolates or whatever, instead of it going in his stocking, it'll get wrapped. So Christmas, he usually has a big pile, and I take a picture of him every year.
Yeah, one year it was like I had my own fort sitting on the floor with all these presents around.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what's your favorite Christmas movie?
Boy, that's tough. That is really tough. I don't know.
It's
what's
not for
yours.
me.
Let me think about it. I know what yours is. Go ahead.
They probably know what mine is by now. I don't know. I've mentioned it, I feel like, a couple of times, but it's a little known movie. Littler known. I mean, we've watched several people do their top holiday movies and whatever, and I've never seen it on the list. Have you?
Nope.
But my favorite Christmas movie is a Jim Henson movie called Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about a little otter family. Well, a little otter and his mom, and they're super, super poor, and the dad has passed away, and they both want to get each other something for Christmas, but they're dirt poor. I mean, she takes in like people's laundry, and he does odd jobs, like that kind of, struggling kind of thing. And so they each want to get each other a gift, and how is that going to happen? And it's very sweet to see their relationship. Not that I don't like romantic comedy, Hallmark movies, and not that I don't like the funny, movies like Elf and whatever, but that there's just something really sweet about that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because I remember watching it as a little girl with my mom. And you always see, the other thing that I love about that movie, which is something totally different, but you always see Jim Henson doing the Muppets. I always liked Fraggle Rock too, because for the same reason that it's Jim Henson and all of his magic and everything that he brings to TV, but different characters besides like Fozzie and Kermit and whatever. So that's another thing that I like about Emmett Otter.
I see.
Anyway.
I don't know that I have a favorite one. I mean, I love Elf. I love all the funny ones. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I don't know that I have a favorite
You
one.
really like the Grinch.
Yeah, the new Grinch. I really love that one. That was great.
We went to see that right away when it came out in the theater. That was cute.
Yeah.
That was fun.
And then we just saw it recently.
Yeah.
Again, like on Netflix or Hulu or something.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Santa Claus with Tim Allen. I don't know. I think that's about it. I don't really have like a favorite though.
Okay. Now, if we weren't going to spend Christmas here at home, where would you most like to... I've never spent Christmas away from home. I mean, I've never been on vacation for Christmas. Never have I ever in my life.
Yeah.
So if we were going to be on vacation somewhere for Christmas, where would you like to go?
I think
That would be weird to me. Some people, that's their tradition. They go away for Christmas every year.
Right.
And
like a cruise or something.
yeah, and I mean, not that there's anything wrong with it. It just seems so foreign to me. So if you guys do that, let us know in the comments. That's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
I want to know how that works too. Like, what do you do about presents and all that stuff?
I don't know. Right. Maybe the cruise is your present.
Or maybe you do it before or after. Anyway, Go ahead.
I think like an ideal that's the thing. I can't picture myself on a cruise or somewhere warm or like on a beach somewhere. Maybe I'd try it out someday, but that's not like where I picture myself on Christmas. If there was like an ideal location I could think of is like being holed up with you in a cabin in the mountains somewhere with like a ton of snow and a fire and warmth.
Yeah, the kind of place where you have to drive and it's remote and you have to take all of your food in with you and you just know you're going to be stuck there for a while. That sounds amazing. I've never been any place warm for Christmas. We live in Iowa and it's always snowy and cold and whatever, and so I can't imagine being any place warm, and I feel like I would like to try that. However, I also know myself well enough to know if I were someplace warm for Christmas, I might, since we're used to cold and snow and we're in our 40s and that's all we've ever experienced, I feel like if we did go someplace tropical or whatever on Christmas, I feel like I might be homesick.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can handle the weather here like up until the New Year's. After that, man, it gets horribly bitter cold here in Iowa. I can't stand it. I mean, I only like the cold up until like after New Year's. Mm-hmm. And then it could get warm. That's what I want.
What I don't like is all the mess. When we're holed in the house and we can just look out and see the snow on the trees and in the yard and whatever, then I love it. But all the traipsing and tracking in the house and it's all slushy and the shoveling and all of that stuff. No.
Yeah, and when it first snows, it's like beautiful, right? Mm-hmm. And then after like the plows come through and cars drive by and the dogs pee in it, it's not pleasant anymore. It looks it's dirty and dingy. And
I miss watching a dog play in snow though.
Yeah.
Dogs love, most dogs love snow.
Well, maybe spring we'll be getting a dog.
Maybe this time next year. We'll have a puppy.
Right.
So what did you like best about Christmas as a child?
Well, as a kid, you just love getting presents and stuff. But it wasn't just that. Like I mentioned a little bit earlier, like our tradition was like brunch at my grandparents' house. I loved getting presents and seeing what Santa brought, but then I loved going over there and like all the family was there and the fire was going and it just seemed really special.
Mm-hmm. We always celebrated Christmas Eve at my Aunt Jane's house, and when I was little, my Aunt Jane could cook a pork chop. I'm telling you, that's not even, I mean, I like pork chops now, but as a kid, I wouldn't say, oh, I love pork chops. Except for my Aunt Jane's pork chops. They were amazing. She cooked them all day, low and slow, and mashed potatoes and gravy and did the whole thing. And I don't know why that was our tradition, but that was. My dad lost his mom when he was 6, so this sister of his was always more like grandma to our family, and we would spend Christmas Eve there. And then she would always get us a little present. That'd be our first present we would open. And then we would, have Christmas. My parents always hosted at their house with my mom's side of the family then, the grandparents on that side. And so my favorite part, and then as I got older, I worked retail. And my Aunt Jane got older, and she said, let's cut out this whole pork chop business. Let's get pizza and do appetizers and play board games and just have fun and just enjoy one another. And even though I missed her pork chops, the just relaxing and playing board games was amazing. There was no mess. There was nobody had to clean. Nobody had to cook. It was just relaxing.
Right. Nice.
And that was like one of my favorite things. And then, not the opening presents wasn't my favorite. I loved after present opening was over and you're sitting amongst all your stuff and it's like, okay, that needs batteries, that has to be put together.
Right.
That and my grandparents would come sometimes for when I opened presents and sometimes it would be after. I guess it depended on what time I got up. And then my mom would be in the kitchen cooking and it was me and my grandpa building all my stuff and putting batteries in all my stuff, and he'd be playing all my games with me, and that was my favorite part.
Remember, like, as an older kid, like, I don't know, 10, 11, 12, whatever, like, having my pile of stuff and just, like, going through it, and, that was always fun.
Because sometimes there's a frenzy of opening presents, right? And then it's afterwards, you're like, oh, yeah, I got that, and I want to see what this looks like, and whatever. So, anyway. Okay, last question. What do you want for Christmas this year the most? And it has to be, this is our rule, everybody wants world peace and, cure for cancer and all those amazing, love and hope and, all of that stuff we want for us and we want for all of you. But we're talking about a tangible thing that can be under the tree.
Well, we love to play games. I would love more games. I would want, we'd love to do art too, so like more art supplies.
I'm laughing because we spent the afternoon building a gingerbread house, and so I don't know if you should be telling people that we love to do art.
Nobody said that was art. That was a gingerbread house kit. Those things are made to drive you nuts and make a mess.
We love art. It doesn't mean we're good at it. That's what I'll say about that.
Right. What about you?
I would say, yeah, games. We play games a lot. We are getting married next year, and so we got to be saving our nickels. There won't be as much traveling and stuff as there has been maybe this year, and so we having those board games to play over the weekend and stuff, I think would be good for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just think exactly what you said.
All right. Great.
So, please feel free to answer any of those questions or questions on your own. Make sure to put Love and Junk's Christmas tag in the title, and we'd love to go check you out. So, especially if you're a new channel that we've never checked out before,
right.
we would love to hear what you have to say, and then we're going to tag some of our friends too, and of course, we want to hear what they have to say too.
So, yeah, small YouTubers, we would love to support you, and we just got to support each other.
Right.
And so let's tag some specific people we want to hear from.
Okay, so first we're going to tag our friend across the pond. This is Steph. I want to know it all. How is Christmas in the UK? How different is it? I really want to know. I don't know. What are your different? Are there different traditions? Or what do you eat for your meal? Any of that stuff. Tell us everything.
Gifts that you typically give. How many? What's appropriate?
Yeah, whatever.
Food.
Whatever you want to tell us, but we'd love to hear from you. If you've never checked out This Is Steph, she's hilarious. Yeah. And she does some food on her channel. She does some how-tos on her channel, and she's just funny.
Yep. Absolutely.
So you should check her out. This is Steph. Who do you want to tag now?
Well, we have our friend Ernie Hatmaker. Ernie is a good supporter of ours, and we'd like to support her channel as well.
Similar interests.
Yeah, similar interests. We'd like to do gardening. We haven't had too much of that on our channel, but we like this year we just moved, and that was really kind of hectic. So.
Right at the time of planting and all of that.
So we just got in and got everything in our pots as much as we could. But so she likes to do gardening. She likes dogs and parrots, and so check out her channel. She is also hilarious. Yeah, so we'd like to hear from Ernie to see what questions you can answer here. Yeah. And then we have two sisters trying stuff. And they, so This Is Steph and Ernie they do some different content than what we do. I would say Two Sisters Trying Stuff is more similar to our channel. Yep. Because, obviously we're a couple, but it's like us. They do Snack Crate. They try different products. They try different alcoholic beverages and see how, what they think. They just try different things and give their opinion. And they're a fun channel too. Yeah, so check them out. Yep. And we're tagging you guys, so please answer some questions. Yeah, absolutely. So just put Love and Junk Christmas tag in the title. Yep. So, like we said, it can be the same questions. It can be different questions. It can be 2 questions. It can be 100 questions. However you want to do it. And if you haven't followed us on Instagram, we're over there posting as often as we think of it. Yep. Over there we're Love and Junk with no D, LOVEANJUNK. And then don't forget to subscribe to our channel. That's right. We have big stuff coming for the new year. We think it's big stuff. We're going to do lots and lots of different content. Yeah. Not that we're not going to be trying food, but we're going to be moving into doing some other stuff, some vlogging and some different things. So we will talk more about that later, but make sure you're subscribed and hit the little bell so you can be notified when all that new stuff does come out. Sorry, it was a Christmas one. I see. Now, if you like questions or Christmas or what? Presents. Yeah, presents, Christmas, cookies, our channel, us. Yeah, then give this video a big thumbs up. And that's all we have for today. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye. Bye.